Hi everyone, welcome back to Modern Homesteading with Tessa. I'm Tessa, and this is the channel where I show you how to feed yourself, which is kind of important these days. So today we are making Greek yogurt cups. So these are really great for grab and go breakfasts or snacks that are super healthy with all homemade ingredients, packed with probiotics, so they're really good for you. And it's super easy to make. So follow along and I'll show you how to do it. All right, so for making our actual yogurt, all you need is milk and yogurt. So the yogurt is going to act as our starter culture to culture all of this milk into yogurt. I'm starting with some fresh milk from a local farm, but you can totally do this with store-bought milk as well. I'm also, so the yogurt that I'm using for my culture is from my last batch of yogurt, but the original yogurt came from the same farm where I get the milk, but you again can totally use store-bought yogurt as well. You just need to get a yogurt that has the live active cultures in it. Making yogurt does not need to be an exact science or a complicated process at all. The basic concept is we want to heat this milk up hot enough to eliminate any competing bacteria, then cool it back down to where it's not going to kill our starter culture, and then mix the starter culture in, incubate it, and then it inoculates all this milk with yogurt. You don't need exact measurements, you don't need exact times. It's a super flexible project. So I have found that the easiest way to incubate my yogurt is actually in the Instant Pot. And so you can totally do this on the stovetop as well, or in, I've seen some people use their dehydrator, or they will wrap it in coolers with towels and stuff like that. But the easiest, most foolproof way that I've found is with the Instant Pot. And it makes it super hands-off and just a no-brainer. So your Instant Pot, most of them have a yogurt setting on them. So I'm using a half a gallon of raw milk that has the cream in it. You can see the cream line there. And I find that my yogurt tastes a lot better. We just prefer the taste of it with the cream in there. So I don't separate the cream first. But you totally can make yogurt out of skim milk as well. So then here is some cream that kind of gets stuck at the top. So what I'll do is stop halfway through, put the lid back on, and shake it up to make sure I get all of that goodness incorporated into the milk, so I make sure all of that good cream ends up in the yogurt. So then I'll hit that yogurt button until it says boil. Make sure the lid is on, and then just let it do its thing. When it's done, the Instant Pot will beep and actually change from boil to yogurt. I didn't get that on video, but it'll beep and let you know when it has reached temperature. So how long this takes depends on how cold your milk was to begin with. So there's our temp. It's up at 187. Then we need to get it cooled back down. So I have found the easiest way to do this is to take a bowl of cold ice water and take the whole Instant Pot insert and just put it all the way into the ice water, and this will speed up your cooling down process. You can just set it out and let it come down naturally, but I feel like it helps speed things up to stick it in the ice water. We want to cool that all the way back down to about 110. It's okay if it's not perfect. And then we're ready to add our starter culture. So this does not need to be an exact measurement. It just needs to be some measure with your heart. We just need some of those good, that good culture to make it into our milk. And then take some milk and mix it in with your yogurt first. And this will help the yogurt fully incorporate into all of that milk. If you just dump it straight into the milk, it doesn't always incorporate the best. And this just gives you a better end result. So mix a little bit of milk in there, and then you can add that whole thing into your milk and get that all mixed and incorporated. Then it is back to the Instant Pot for the incubation process. the longer you let it incubate, the tangier and thicker your yogurt's gonna be. So how long you let this go is totally up to you. I always just set it for 24 hours, and then when I get to it, I get to it. Like this one went for almost 18, and that's fine. So this is what it looks like now. And you could totally eat this as is, and it's kind of like the consistency of like breakfast yogurt, but we're going for Greek yogurt. So we're going to take this to the next step. We are going to strain it. So this is an actual Greek yogurt strainer. I can put a link to this down in the description below if you guys want to know what this exact one is. But you could also totally use just cheesecloth and a colander. So you would just put your yogurt into the cheesecloth, and that also totally works as well. So this is a 1/2 gallon Greek yogurt strainer, so it fits exactly 1/2 gallon, and you can see all that stuff dripping down on the bottom there. That is the whey, so that is good stuff. We'll talk about how to use that as well, but then we're going to just stick this in the fridge, and we'll let this drain for anywhere from overnight to 24 hours. That's where we're at now, so let's take a look at our yogurt. So we are nice and thick now. Ooh yeah, that looks super, super delicious. And so with these Greek yogurt strainers, the mesh is really, really fine and kind of fragile. So be careful when you're scraping against that you don't mess it up. But you're also left with this goodness, which is the whey. And so this is also really, really good stuff. So don't just dump it down your sink. My favorite thing to do with it is to make bread with it. So instead of using just water in your bread recipe, you can use whey instead. And it's really high in protein, and it's good stuff for you. Like people pay big bucks for like the whey protein drinks and stuff. Same exact thing. You could also put it in soups or in smoothies or other protein drinks if you have someone in your house that's needs protein or whatever, doing sports stuff. So I'm just gonna pour that into a jar, stick that back in the fridge, and use it for the next time I make bread. If you end up with like a ton of whey and more than you can use, it's also really, really good to feed to chickens. It's a really high protein source. You can soak their grain in it. Like if you have scratch, just soak your scratch in your whey. Or you can feed it to pigs too. But definitely, whatever you do, don't just pour it down the drain. Okay, so then we're gonna get to making our yogurt cups. This yogurt is ready to eat, ready to use as is. But we're gonna make these grab and go little yogurt cups that make really good, easy snacks, breakfasts, all that. So for putting these together, a canning funnel definitely helps. And then we're just gonna plop some of this down in there. And then for this first one, I think I'm gonna make it with some berry jelly. And then we'll just top the rest of this with yogurt. If you're gonna be putting granola on top of your yogurt, leave a little room for that. So pretty. And then we'll just add a lid, throw it in the fridge. That one's ready to go. For this next one, I'm going to add some homemade applesauce. If you want to see how I make this applesauce, I'll put a card to that video right here. It'll be somewhere up there. Some delicious, oh my goodness, this stuff's so good. Applesauce in there. For this next one, I'm gonna add some frozen blackberries that we picked over the summer. So these blackberries are nice and not one unit. So in order to do that, I will lay them out on a cookie sheet or a tray and freeze them before I put them in the bag, and then they're loose and not stuck to each other. And you can just scoop some out as needed for things like this. And then last but not least, we're gonna make sure that we make one yogurt cup that is just yogurt so that we have some yogurt for the next time that we make yogurt. Alright you guys, so that's it for today's video. Like this video if you like this video, and hit the subscribe button if you want to see more homestead stuff. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!